Hi guys, it's me Ty, coming from my permanent home here in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. And yesterday was the third day of Chinese New Year. And what was going on yesterday was, got up in the morning and they were still driving by in the trucks with the dragon costumes in the back, beating on their cymbals and everything. But when I walked to the window, I see that the traffic all picked up, and pretty much everybody went back to work, and the schools were all open. All school children were heading to school in their uniforms and everything. But when I went for a walk, I saw that Central Market. You know, that's the big market here down by Riverside that has the dome and the four tunnels coming out of it. The outside vendors were open on the very outside edges, but the entire center of the dome, they had that all locked up. Like, I'd never seen it locked up that tight. But in that area, it's mostly the people that sell, you know, expensive watches and expensive jewelry and do money exchange. So it would be the Chinese, you know. And then also all around the city, almost all of the money exchange shops, which those are the red shops with in gold writing. They're jewelry stores is what they are, and they exchange your money, and you can buy gold there. They were all shut down, so pretty much anything that was Chinese owned was, a lot of them were still taking the holiday. And then I checked on YouTube, and I saw some pretty nice news to see. Over the years, I've followed Paul in the Philippines, Old Dog New Tricks. And about 4 years ago, he met a man named John. And he'd moved to the Philippines, and he was 58 years old and just a hard worker, single guy, never married, no kids yet. And he saved up $30,000. I think he worked with the nursing homes. I'm assuming he was like a CNA or whatever. But he put away $30,000, and that was supposed to last him the 4 years until he turned 62, when he could get on Social Security. And then, so he went ahead and he went over there, and like any American, you know, very kind-hearted and everything, he ended up meeting a girl. She ended up getting pregnant. They had a couple little twin daughters together. And her family kept asking him for money. And he's like, you don't understand. He's like, I've got to make this money last 4 years. Well, they told him that their pickup for their business, pickup truck, you know, broke down or whatever, and they need a new one. So he bought that for them, and then eventually his money ran out, his $30,000, and they kicked him out of the house, put him on the street. And Paul had interviewed him 4 years ago. So 2 years later, so in 2022, Paul actually found him wandering the beaches and everything, just starved and everything, and just skin and bones. He was a pretty buff, athletic guy before that. And just emotionally drained, physically drained, and all of that. And him and like the subscribers, they all got this guy back up on his feet. It took them about 4 months to convince him to return to the U.S. Because in the USA, you know, if you're a citizen that gets all hopped up on drugs, whatever, you spend all your money, you just go to the U.S. Embassy, and they will pay for your plane ticket to get you back home, and then they seize your passport until you can pay the U.S. government back the money that they paid for your plane ticket to get you back to the USA. So yeah, now he just turned 62. And he made his return about 3 weeks ago to the Philippines, Paul said, and things are going good for them. So it's nice to see a story with a happy ending eventually, when it was a real tragedy like that, because the reality is, you know, that could happen to any of us guys over there. You know, nobody wants to die alone and everything. So, you know, everybody's moving overseas here to start a family like that, and have somebody to grow old with. So yeah, I just want to say on that note, but yeah, like I said, a lot more went on yesterday than that. So yesterday in the evening, when I was out in Riverside on the park bench or whatever, it was just a normal night. Like, I wouldn't say it was overly busy here. Just like I said, I think that most of the Khmer people went back to work and everything, but I heard a thud behind me, and I turn around, and there's a lady laying on the street. Fruit is just strewn all over the street, and a motorbike was laying on its side. And what happened is the lady, she walked out into traffic, and she was trying to cross the street to use the restroom or whatever across the street, and a motorbike rider hit her. And I kind of wish I knew more of the details there, because the motorbike riders, a lot of them drive in the middle of the night. I don't know why they drive without their headlights on or whatever. And the lady, it looks like she actually stepped out between like two motorbikes, so it would have been tough for anybody to see her anyways in traffic. Like, did she even look both ways? But like I said, the motorbike driver could have just been, you know, trying to zip around a car too quick and not really paying attention to what's going on there. So everybody helped them up over onto the sidewalk or whatever, and they're checking her all over to make sure she's all right. He was bleeding from the foot, and eventually after half an hour she went and sat in the park with her family or whatever, and he would just sat on his motorbike. So I would think, you know, if they would have needed an ambulance or anything, they could have both just hopped on a motorbike or whatever and gone to the hospital rather than paying for, because I'm assuming an ambulance costs a lot of money, because they both weren't messed up that bad. But you know, who knows, if you have hairline fractures or whatever, you might want to get that kind of stuff checked out. But of course, no police officers came over. I don't think anybody called the police, nothing like that. So I'm just kind of seeing that that's kind of how things work around here when you get in an accident. And then later on, my roommate came out, and he ran into a guy that came over, a foreigner from, I'm not even sure what country he's from, but he's like in his 60s. He's an English teacher over in Taiwan, and he moved there like when he was 35. And he said what happened last night is, well, actually, I don't think it was last night. It was the night before, is what he said. He was about 3 blocks up from Riverside, over by the Royal Palace, and he said he just walked one of his buddies back to their hotel, and he went to go send a message to one of his friends or whatever, and he wasn't really paying attention to his surroundings, and he was just kind of, you know, really in-depth looking at his phone. And he said a motorbike just quietly came up behind him, and it was just one man on that motorbike, and he used one hand to run the throttle, and he reached out, and he's like, it was almost like the guy had like sticky hands or something really sticky on his hands or whatever, that he was able to reach out at fast speed and just snatch this guy's expensive Samsung Galaxy with, you know, everything on his phone out of his hand and drove off. And the guy looked as the guy was riding off on the motorbike with his phone, and like I said, one hand was on the throttle, one leg was way off, hanging off the bike, on his hand too with his phone, just like a darn acrobat. So this is the first time that I've actually, you know, talked to somebody here of something being stolen like that, you know, right here in the, he said it was about 11:30 at night here, so I guess it does happen. He's like, yeah, I really wish I would have had my wits about me. And I was like, yeah, you really got to pay attention. But then when we were going for the walk with him, he had his fanny pack on the back of his pants. And I was like, dude, you should really wear your fanny pack with your money and everything on the front so you can keep track of it, because people will walk up behind you and they can go through it as you're walking. And you don't even know somebody's walking behind you. And he's like, oh, he's like, I've gone by this long like this. And I was like, yeah, but you just got your phone stolen. I was like, why take any chances? You hear about this stuff happening all the time, that people are reaching into people's purses and everything when they have them behind them rather than in front of them. So guess that's how that goes. But yeah, he said he was so worried, because he's like, I don't even know my family's phone numbers. Because yeah, now I remember, he's from Canada is where this guy's from. And I was like, well, you should be able to just go to the embassy, and they can contact your local sheriff's department in your hometown, wherever your brother or mom lives, and the sheriff's department will know mom and your parent or your family's address, and also be able to look up their cell phone number, even if it's even an unlisted number like that. So yeah, that just tells you, you know, that yeah, you just got to pay attention, you know, because in Thailand it was always a different world there. You know, I never had anything stolen over there, and I don't know, just people have more money there, 400 to 450 bucks a month, whereas here, you know, they're just, I don't think there's even that many jobs around here, to be honest, you guys. Because Thailand, you hear about girls, they'll quit a job and go to a better paying one, just jumping around. The Thai people over there, they never complain to me about finding a job. Most of the Thai girls I talk to, they're like, yeah, if we want a job, we can find a job anywhere. Well, Cambodia is a different story. You meet, I've met so many homeless people here on the streets, and they tell me that they moved here from the province looking for work, and they just never found work here. And that's just the way it is. So, but let's see. Yeah, in Aeon Mall there, they I walked over there. That place is just as busy as ever. And actually, the guys in the dragon costumes, they walked in there and they put on a little dragon show for the public in there. So yeah, everybody was rushing around. So that stuff was still going on. And yeah, I'll keep you guys updated as, because I'm not even sure how long Chinese New Year lasts. I thought it's like 10 days or something. So we've already experienced 3 days now. Today is the 4th. So yeah, looking around here, everything seems pretty much back to normal, but we shall see. So all right, if you guys like this content, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll just keep cranking them out here from Phnom Penh, Cambodia. All right, take care.